Hi, this is Teena Stewart with Serendipity, and today I'm going to show you how to make Frit, which is crushed glass, and then once you make it you can actually use it for fusing together in molds. Now the first thing you need to know when you use Frit, if you're using anything that's recycled glass, you cannot put two different types of glass together. So even if you have wine bottles and you've got an amber bottle and a amber-green bottle and maybe a blue bottle, you can't fuse those together. They will eventually break apart because they're a different coefficient. So that's what you need to know. So when I make this, I use baggies to sort out my Frit, and you have different textures of it, from like a coarse to a smooth, and I will show you what those look like as a completed project. So here's a sample of a star that's made from Frit, and this is the next to the finest Frit that you can use. It's sort of an aqua glass, and it's got a sparkle to it. It's very beautiful. I can't remember what I used for the glass on this, but it was recycled. I think it was like a vase that I crushed up. So you can see that's relatively fine. I tend to not use the very finest sifter because it just takes so long, and I'm happy with this one. This one here is made from a recycled wine bottle, and you can see it's a sun image, and it's a little bit coarser, so it's probably the next grade up with the sifter. It's got a little bit of coarse, it's a little shinier on the back, but this is how that one turned out. So what we're going to do is, this is what I started with. I don't use this method now, but for beginners, this is a great way to use it. You have a mortar and a pestle. Actually, it's a stainless steel cup that you can order from a glass supply place. And then it's like a rod with a handle, and this is your, I guess you call this your pestle. So you basically are going to crush the glass in this. So I have on hand, it's actually a mason jar my husband broke. I love the color of the glass. It's beautiful. And it's not, most of it I used for my recycled jewelry. It was flatter, but these are pieces that I decided, well, the only thing I know to do is make Frit with them because they've got some irregularities to them. So I'm going to pour them in the stainless steel cup. You can see what we've got in there. And I'm just going to smash them up. I'm going to cut away from the, smash a little bit, but I'm going to cut away from the video because it takes a while to do this to get what I want. And then I'll show you what we do next. And I will say that I like to start with a little bit smaller pieces, otherwise it takes longer. So you might want to smash your glass up with a towel. You wrap the glass in a towel, work on a hard surface like a concrete floor or a sturdy table, and you can smash up the glass to smaller pieces to start with by wrapping it in a towel. Always wear safety glasses. And then when you get them to these size pieces, then you can crush them up. So I'm going to go ahead and crush, but I'm going to cut away and bring you back once I've got that crushed up. Okay, I'm back. I spent some time crushing the glass. You can kind of see it's a mixture of fine, medium, super fine, and clunky. I have these are various sized sifters, sieves, and you can see that they've got different size mesh inside. This is like the next to the finest size, and this is like super fine. So what you're going to do is you're going to start pouring your crushed glass. And oh, I forgot to mention, you should wear a mask when you do this, because it will become airborne and you don't want to get the glass into your lungs. So because I'm talking, I'm not wearing a mask, but you really should do that because it's really not healthy to do otherwise. All right, so I'm going to pour this into the sifter with the largest grid. And you can kind of see that this is what it kept out. So those didn't get crushed small enough. All right, so if I want to use this again, I'll just have to crush it a little bit more. Then the next size is this size, and I have, you're going to need multiple containers to sift through your glass. Always make sure your containers are clean. You don't want any specks of anything to go into your glass because it will show up once you fuse it or in the finished product. So I'm going to pour this in here, and you can see there's a really fine powder on top. It almost looks like powdered sugar, and that is super fine. So this is like the next size, and you can use that for, if you want to use that, that is usable. I have used it before, and it looks great in ornaments. But if you want the finer, then that's what you've got here. So that can go into the next. So I'm pouring that in there. Sifting that to see what comes out. And truthfully, I don't ever use the super fine one. It just takes so much crushing, and this, frankly, didn't get crushed enough to hardly give me anything from this one. So what I've got here is between fine and super, or coarse and medium, I guess. So just showing you that. Then what you want to do once you've got your stuff sifted out like you want, I keep mine sorted in bags. So like I work with only one kind of glass at a time, one color. I will put it in a Ziploc bag, such as these. And this one says pale, I actually wrote on it pale blue, and I gave it a number. And it just helps me keep straight what I have. Is this the same type of Frit from the same bottle, etc.? So this one says pale blue. The number got wiped off, but it's not quite as fine as this. So it just helps me keep it straight. And when you're totally done with your doing your Frit, you can either do this one of two ways. You're going to want to take a magnet, a strong magnet. This one actually came with my mortar and pestle, and it looks like this. It's just a square, very strong. I don't know if you can see on there, but there's little pieces of metal stuck on it that are kind of sticking up. It gives it sort of a ragged look to it. And because you're working with metal and you're crushing it, parts of your metal will break off into the glass. And if you don't use the magnet to get it out, then those little black flecks are going to show up in the glass and be really ugly. So this is a trick I learned. I have a tiny little bag this is in. You don't have to use a bag, but it makes it easier to remove the metal. So I take it, and you can either pour your Frit into your bag that you're going to keep it in and do it by running it through the bag or the outside of the bag, or you can run it through the bowl you've got it in. Since I don't already have this in a bag, I'm going to run this through here. And what you do is you just run it over here multiple times to get all that metal out. And that metal will actually stick to the magnet through the outside of the bag. Yeah, picked up quite a bit there, I can see. And it will stick to it. And then you just dump that into a trash can, which is what I'm going to do now. And that takes care of it. So that's pretty much it for Frit Making 101. There are other methods of making Frit. This is for basics. Because I like to make a lot of it, I actually use an electric frit maker, and that information's on my website. I will try to include a link at the end of this video about that. Another way to make frit is to actually put the piece of glass, heat a piece of glass with a torch, butane torch, and drop the glass into cold water in a bowl. Always wear safety glasses, and that will shatter the glass. I haven't tried that method. I may try that and post the video, but for now this is the method I use. So good luck with making your frit and your molds.